this morning, if you guys thought of ordering something, or your friend is, and you said that, okay, let's order some chai or some toast or whatever. What if for the same ride, or maybe you decided to go somewhere, going to office for example, what if the same ride at the same time from the same location costed different fares? Your fare is different just because you are on an iPhone and the other one is an Android. So again, the same time, the same destination, but the fare is different on two different phones. The expensive phone gives you a higher fare, while the relatively cheaper phone shows a lower fare. This is what caught the attention of influencer Pooja Chhabda. Her video ever since has crossed over 1.5 million views, where she highlighted why there was difference in pricing. Let's see.
Saw so many videos on social media where people are talking about they're getting different prices on Android phone and different prices on iPhone. There's a huge difference. I didn't trust all those videos thinking that it's fake. But now I just checked, randomly I just checked, and dude, there's a huge difference. Can you see this here? I'm using the Zepto. This is an iPhone and this is an Android phone. And there's a huge difference. Like grapes, I'm getting it for 146 and Android phone users getting it for only 65. You can see the cauliflower is 31, here it's only 20. And here capsicum is 69 and here it's 37. Onions, here it's 39 and here's 47. What the hell is this? I thought it's fake, but it's actually real. Are you also facing this? Can you just check, compare from both the phones and let me know if you're also facing this? If we all are facing this, then don't you think that it's a very serious issue?
And several other influencers quickly followed suit as well. But, you know, we tried to understand what exactly is happening. It's clearly not just about Uber, Ola, about just quick commerce. There are several apps that perhaps seem to be having the same issue. But what started with allegations with just Ola, Uber, like I said, quickly got a reality check from all different platforms. Several social media influencers trying to do their own test over here. And over the past few weeks, the controversy has widened. Differential pricing is being raised actively across social media by citizens, enough to make government take note. Union Minister Prahlad Joshi confirmed that the Department of Consumer Affairs issued notices to Uber and Ola over these allegations. The government says it will show zero tolerance for consumer exploitation. With such an active chatter, we thought, let's try and test it out ourselves. So Team TBC picked up two phones and we tried to understand what exactly was the problem there. We picked up an Android phone and an Apple phone, and we tried to see how the ordering process of groceries actually differs, right? The results similar to what a lot of social media influencers have been saying, but there seems to be a twist in the tale. Let me prompt our producers to try and get that on the screen as well for you. If we can put out those visuals, you'll be able to see what actually went wrong. So here are the two phones that we tried our hands at. We've got the iPhone and you've got the Android. Now, if you see that the same groceries were ordered at the same time, 10:05, the same bread on Apple is 30, on Android it's much lower. If you go to the previous picture, you'll be able to see that as well. Amul Masti, 35 on iPhone, 31 on Android, right? The next one, let's see. Uncle Chips, 41 on iPhone, 33 on Android. But all of this, remember, is before the checkout. Then we said, okay, let's check it out and let's get to finally making the payment and then we'll see. Let's go to the visual of after checkout. Yeah, now this is where it gets really interesting and this is where the twist in the tail is actually happening. You see here how Apple on the iPhone, the total overall bill is 120. The overall bill on Android is actually just 95, but the final amount much higher than iPhone. Let's tell you how. On the iPhone, the overall bill higher at 120, but just has a delivery fee of 30 bucks. So you end up paying about 150 rupees over here. Cut to the Android, where the overall bill is lower, but then there are other charges. There is a surge fee, There is a small cart fee, there is a handling charge, there is a delivery fee, making the overall bill come to 165. Now, the narrative we've been hearing so far is that things are cheaper on Android. But look what we found when we did our own check. So what does it really tell you? It tells you that there seems to be no particular sort of style or no particular way algorithm that is being followed. It's differential pricing. Different people getting different prices at different times of the day. So why is that happening? This interesting story is what we'll try and decode with our guest this morning. We have with us Pooja. She's the one who actually brought the whole story to light. And we also have with us Sarthk. Sarthk also joins us from the Mumbai studio over there. Pooja, let me start with you. What prompted you firstly to start this video? And I want to first get to what have you noticed any changes since? It's been a couple of weeks since you made that video. Did you try it again and did it show a different result?
Yeah. So hi Sunal. So yes, I tried multiple times, but to be honest, I saw the same results. Now, how I got the idea to create this video was all completely dependent on the situation. I did not plan to create a video. So I was just sitting at home and I was just wanted to order grocery. My friends were sitting with me and we both opened the app. My friend opened Zepto and I also opened Zepto. We were just looking what to order. So just randomly, he also just told me, Pooja, just check the price, I'm getting it for this much. I'm like, okay, I'm getting it for higher price. Then we thought it might be a glitch, then we restarted the app again. And then we again opened it and it was like, okay, there's a huge price, there's a double price difference. Then I thought that maybe it's for a particular section. Then I'm like, okay, let's jump to vegetables and see if it is happening the same. There also the situation was same. Then I opened Swiggy. There also the price difference was there, but it was a little bit lesser than Zepto. So then I was like, okay, let's create a video out of it. It should go to internet, because we're facing this issue. So my friends first made fun of me that, are you serious? Are you going to make a video out of it? I'm like, yeah, why not? If we are facing this issue, it might be like people are also facing there, right? So my whole objective to put this reel out was to understand, is it only me facing this problem? Or is it everyone who is facing this issue? But
and ever since the reel, Pooja, it hit about 1.5 million views, I think. The government has taken notice. Is there a change now?
I don't see any change, to be honest. There's a discussion going on. So it was on Twitter and basically X, and it was on Reddit. It was there that the CCPA has taken an action about it. So the process is going on, but I don't see any results so far.
Okay,
I see the same price difference.
Okay, let me bring in Sarthk, who's been listening to all of this and smiling through the whole process. Sarthk, what's going on? Give us some insight into how does this entire thing work? You saw the experiment we did in the newsroom. It's actually not got to do with what's cheaper, what's lesser. It's about the same product being charged differently at the same time on the same location. How do quick commerce companies justify any of this?
Listen, this has been happening since time immemorial. In fact, consider walking into a local kirana store, okay? And if you were the only customer there, there's a possibility you can really haggle with them saying, I'm not going to pay for the carry bag. I've bought so much worth. Please give me at least 2% discount. And he may actually consider giving it to you. But also consider, if you were to go to the same kirana store and there are 20 people queued up and then you haggle that very moment for a discount, the store owner may not give you a discount because he knows there are other people watching. And if he actually gives you a discount, he will also have to give it to everyone else. Now, it's not a question of morals or ethics. It's a question of not letting other consumers see what another customer is getting as a price. So it's not about morals really. It's just about wherever you can't build in opacity, the seller feels awkward asking for a different price because in the minds of the consumer, it feels unfair. However, with these technological apps and their algorithm, there is so much opacity that finally the shopkeeper can actually ask for a different price. And even in service providers, I remember a time where there was a customer, a few years ago, who reached out to me, asked for a quotation for a particular service, and my office submitted a quotation. And much later, when we took on the assignment, he said, I didn't tell you that I'm actually based in Dubai because I knew the moment I mentioned that to people, people's quotations go up by 20 to 30% because they know I'm based in Dubai, so my willingness to pay is higher. So the thing is, it's not really a question
Sarthak,
of
fair
morals.
point.
It's a
Sarthak, fair
question
point,
of being
but-
able to do business.
Yeah, I get this. I get this has been happening. But that was the whole point of quick commerce, right? That was the whole point of having online apps, that this is going to democratize pricing. This will be easier on your pocket. This will ensure transparency. There are no hidden charges. There is no trust issue. It's the brand that you trust, and they will bring you at a lower price. This deceives that purpose.
No, I don't agree. I think it is going to democratize purchasing behavior for everyone is a narrative that they tell the consumer. Actually, consumers are not aware of the fact that the customer acquisition costs online are so high that in fact, even if you were to look at the quarterly reports of a Google or a Meta from the last quarter, you know, ad spends or the cost per click or customer acquisition is going up by 15% annually, and it's going to continue to rise as more and more businesses come online and start targeting the same set of customers. And you should also consider that maybe it's more expensive for a business to acquire an Apple user because there are so many people bidding to acquire Apple users. So at some point, a business has to recover that cost. And maybe if it comes in the form of differential pricing, what is the harm? Because at one hand, we're actually saying crap to all these e-commerce, quick commerce companies, saying, why are they running their businesses at a loss? You know, these are startups, they're raising so much money. On the other hand, when they actually try to recover their losses, you know, we're again saying, why are you not giving me the same kind of discount as a customer? So, you know, from a business perspective, they have to make money, and I think, to my mind, it's absolutely fair.
Okay, Pooja, your thoughts?
So I feel whatever Sarthak is saying, that should be transparent to audiences. You know, they should be aware that, okay, this is what is happening. So I should not be blank, you know, like why I'm getting it. So companies should should say something that, okay, if you're using an iPhone, there will be different charges. If you're using this, there should be different charges. So as a user, if I'm getting transparency, then I'm okay with it. But if there's no transparency, then no, this is not done.
That's a fair point, Sarthak. You want to come back on that? Yeah.
Yes, and I'll tell you what, Pooja. So the thing is, in an offline model, you know, people always think, what is my moat? Imagine there are two Kirana stores in the same locality. A person would say, my store, I would put an air conditioner, I would give a better experience. And the other can copy because he can see the moat or the differentiator in the business. In the online world, what is great is that you can actually hide your moats. And the moat or the USP for all these brands is actually their algorithm, which the other person cannot reverse engineer or crack. So, you know, everyone is guessing. And the fact, Pooja, that you and I also put out content on social media, and even though Meta and Google and all these platforms would tell us, okay, if you do this, you know, the algorithm would favor you. But still, no one would give away their algorithm, because the moment they do that, they're actually, you know, reducing the defensibility of their business. And the way social media platforms protect their algorithm, I think quick commerce apps have the right to protect their algorithm and not be all out and open about it.
Okay, very fascinating. What I understand Sarthak is saying is that it makes business sense for them to do it. That's why they are doing it. But the fact of the matter is the government has taken note. There is something called fair trade practices, which are applied to everybody, which so far quick commerce was in the grey area, and that should be applied. The government is working upon it. But can I flip the chapter here on a different point? Sarthak did an experiment himself, and we've been running those reels as well. And he figured out that the minute he downloaded a competitive app, the prices on his loyalist app actually went down, right? So this raises another issue for me, which is very troubling, on the issue of privacy. How does a particular app know that my competitor, that my user has the competitor on the phone? They can know my location. They can know my wallet details, because that's how transaction happens. But how does a person, say for example, I'm a Blinkit loyalist and I download Swiggy Instamart, or I download, say, Zepto. How do they know that it's happening on my phone and then they are reacting to prices? That for me is extremely problematic. Sarthak, to you first, and then Pooja.
See, I think, firstly, I'm not representing any of the quick commerce apps.
Sure.
I would just like to say that was a one-off incident. And for me to really build a theory around whether this actually happens, we will need a lot more sampling data to be able to establish whether that happens or not. At this point, we're just guessing. And there is a lot of A/B testing happening. Imagine, even when this news feature goes out today, there's a possibility that the quick commerce apps would think, okay, now people are gonna start ordering from an Android phone back at home, so we might as well map it to the Wi-Fi or the location they're ordering from and ensure that if they're all ordering from the same Wi-Fi, it means it's from a good high propensity to pay household, and we might as well charge them a higher price. So, you can't predict where the algorithm will go, but what is the beauty is that how many consumers are actually learning about how businesses are run and how creatively product managers actually think about charging a higher price from the consumers. I think that for me is just fascinating to see.
I think people at a time, and let's get a reality check here, at a time when consumption is actually down, when urban consumption is down so much so the tax relief has been rolled out by the government, people only care about one thing, which is price. Right? So how are you going to manage that is also something that quick commerce should keep in mind. But let me get to Pooja before I go back to Sarthak, who's shaking his head. Pooja.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Sonal, so me as a marketer, I know how to, it's so important to reach out to your correct target audience. So to do that, what we do, we implement a code, which will, like for example, if you're going to a website, so your data will be collected because of course, if you're using internet, so your data is gone, right? So we do collect the data of audiences with the location and which websites and all they are going to, and that we consider as a correct target audience. So we target ads to them that, okay, we know that, okay, this user has visited to this website, so this might be a potential target audience. So like this, we, connect with that particular target audience and we show the ad. So when you see this, so that means we are all, as in marketing, we're tracking all the activities of the youth to reach out to the correct target audience. So that's a little bit technical thing which we do behind to reach out to correct target.
You're basically saying everybody does it. Anybody who has an app has data and is making use of their data. That's your point, Sarthak.
Yeah. So how Sarthak said that everyone wants to do business, right? So this is also one point of business to reach out to the target audience. Yeah. Because we get good conversions at the end.
Sarthak?
Yeah, see, Sonal and Pooja, the idea here really is we can't talk about consumption is down. Why? Because India is massive. And these quick commerce apps are primarily targeting the tier 1, India 1 alpha user in all the urban metro cities where the average per capita income is higher. People have iPhones. I mean, people who have iPhones, we all know there is premiumization happening across categories and these people are willing to spend more. Now, the thing is, I know when I order something from a quick commerce app, and they're charging me, say, 40 rupees in delivery and handling and all of that, I still have the choice to, wear my shirt and pants, get ready, go to the local offline store and actually buy it from there and save on that 40 rupees. The reason I choose to not do that is because the value I'm ascribing to the time I save is much higher than the 40 rupees I'm having to pay. So at the end of the day, as long as the consumers have the choice to purchase offline, it's absolutely up to them and they have options. So I don't think these apps are doing anything wrong there.
Yeah, I get your point on the time optimization and the the opportunity cost over there in a way, right? I get that. But at the end of the day, you have to also understand that these are habit-forming apps. That's how they build on. At the end of the day, buyer beware, correct. We should all be, privy to it. But Pooja's point is very simple, and you can add to that, Pooja. She's saying if you find out a glitch in the algo, please keep it to yourself. Because the minute you put it out on social media, the companies are going to pick on that, and there you go, another change in the algo. So Pooja, don't make any reels on this anymore.
See, whatever I feel wrong, if something wrong is happening, I'm going to make a reel out of it to raise the question. Until and unless I get a proper answer, of course. And if not only me, everyone is facing the problem, then it's an issue everyone is facing, of course. So it should be answered. So what Sarthak is saying, that also I agree to some point. But Sarthak, we have to change this mindset. When you are telling that, okay, if you owe an iPhone, that means you are able to spend more. I got so many comments where people are saying that, okay, I bought a phone on EMI, So it's not like I'm ready to spend much. So that thinking we have to change. It's not like you have an iPhone, so you can spend more. It's money, of course, at the end, right? So doesn't matter, like, if you are an iPhone user or if you are an Android user, money is money for everyone. So that's my point.
Okay, I'm in the last 5 minutes of this conversation and I just want to sort of bring everybody up to speed with where we are. Sarthak's point is very simple. It makes business sense to do it, so do it. There's no harm. And Pooja basically going out to say that, listen, if it's coming at the cost of bringing in more opaqueness in the mind of the consumer, it's wrong. Fair trade practices should apply. Sarthk, you don't agree with that at all? You don't think at this point, along with making business sense, like you don't have Ratan Tata screaming in your head right now to say that it can't come at the cost of a consumer?
See, I don't think it comes at the cost of the consumer because the consumer has options and the consumer has a lot of different channels to buy from. Now, on Pooja's point, and Pooja, don't take me wrong when I say this, when a question is asked to you that please do not disclose the glitch that you find out, on social media and keep it to yourself. I think the reason all of us have the reason to talk about it on social media is not the fact that we want to let consumers know, is the fact that such kind of reels and content pieces are going to get millions of views. So the fact that even we are looking at data and really hacking like human psychology and saying, okay, this is shareable and this is going to work on social media. I think everyone plays on the kind of access to data and information that they have. So in the end, it's a fair world. It's a capitalistic country. And I personally feel that the more protectionist measures you try to put on businesses who have to make money, you're actually curbing the entire drive of building massive businesses from this country away. So I think the government doesn't need to step in and stop all these things from happening as long as it's not one monopoly business which is running it. As long as people have options, I think it's absolutely fair and it should continue.
Right. So, Pooja, what would make consumers like you happy? If the government were listening right now and wanted to understand, okay, how do we curb this? What would make you happy?
So see, at the end of the day, as a consumer, I want a transparency, as I said. So if a news is coming that, okay, if you're buying a product from an iPhone, you have to pay 30% extra. If you're buying it from Android, you have to pay this. So there's a transparency. So at the end, I will make a decision, okay, let's not do it from online. Let's not buy online. Let's go out and just buy it from there. So I will be happy with my decision because I know what is going on in the outside world, right? So if that is there, then I will be happy. See, right now also I have an option that I can go out and I can buy. But at that, I choose my comfort. But
or just change your phone.
Yeah. So I actually changed after that reel. I'm ordering now from an Android phone. I'm not ordering from an iPhone. So that I already implemented. But to answer Sarthak thing, whatever you said, that is also correct. But what will make me happy is like if there is a rule or there is any government publishes anything that, okay, you have to pay. Everyone is aware of that. If everyone is on the same page, I'm a happy consumer. That transparency should be there,
Yeah. Last question really then. Can government even curb this? I've often sort of scratched my head over this idea because the algorithm some way is always ahead of you. Government is always playing catch up. If you catch on to this thing, there'll be something else. Is this a demon that one can even catch on to, Sarthak?
See, firstly, I personally think in a capitalistic economy, the government should not try to curb everything just to make the consumer happy because the consumers would want everything for free. I mean, that's not how the world functions really, to be honest. Second thing, you should look at a comparison to how when TikTok was being banned in the US, a couple of weeks ago, and this discussion has been going on. And the US government said that we want you to keep your data in the US and also give us access to how your algorithm works. And they've been okay keeping the data in the US, but they're like, the algorithm is our moat. And if we let it go, I mean, our business is completely gone where we've invested so much money. So, I mean, wishful thinking aside, I really don't think this should happen. And if the government in wanting like a vote bank or something, or just to make consumers happy, rolls out any such policy, I don't think it's going to be in the best interest of businesses.